Hi there, Scorpio. This is Carrie at wooingnature.life. I hope you're having a good day and I hope you are welcoming in March and feeling good and feeling happy and ready to find out more about what's going on with your relationships. So, this is a Pisces season, so we let Pisces decide what we were going to talk about. And of course, Pisces decided that we were going to talk more about how we're relating, the way we are getting along in our relationships, and what types of things we need to focus on and look at moving forward in them. Now, when I'm talking about relationships for the month of March, we're looking at the whole spectrum. So, depending on where you are and what you're dealing with, what difficulties you're having in relationships. It could be a partnership, could be spouse, could be children, could be parents, could be work relationships. So just open yourself up to the possibilities and what it may be. I will be reading from Colette Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map Oracle. This is a deck that I use for the relationship map. So if you are interested in exploring your relationships further, trying to get to the bottom line on some of the nitpicking issues that happen sometimes in relationships, which usually have to do with communication, or if you would like to just see intuitively where you are and what you can do to either restore, revitalize, or continue to move your relationship forward, you can do that through a 2-week, a 4-week, or an 8-week process that I call the relationship map. And I do use these cards in that process. They're not the only thing that we use, but that's one of the things that we use in it. So I wanted to share those cards with you so you can see a little bit about how I use them and how we can use them to get to the bottom line in some relationships. And then the tarot portion of the reading this month is going to come from the Sun and Moon Tarot, one of my favorite decks to deal with relationships because it's very lighthearted and free. And sometimes we need lighthearted and free in our relationships. All right, so let's take a look. So we're looking for direction for Scorpio for the month of March. We're looking at the things for them to be on the lookout for. And we're also looking at situations that might need to be addressed. Just really looking for direction here. Direction in terms of who you're connecting with and how you're connecting with them. All right, so the first card up I have is Goblins. Now, Goblins to me is about those little issues, these little things that like to get in the way of the relationship. This could be misunderstandings. This could be a lack of communication. This could be somebody leaving their dirty drawers on the floor and you don't like it. But all of those are just the nitpicking issues that seem to needle and gnaw at a relationship like no other. And it's interesting sometimes when you're talking to people about what's wrong in the relationship and the things that they bring up, and things like, somebody leaves glasses of water on the table all the time and that bothers them, or it could be the way someone says something to them that makes them feel a certain way, or that it triggers them or pushes their buttons. And for some reason or another, it is human nature to just push someone's buttons. If you know that you can push them, then you just push them, But we can refrain from that by maturing in our relationships and, not taking the pox shots and not doing some of the things that we know can get somebody riled up, or when you're in communication with someone, not taking the same road or not approaching the problem in the same manner, at the same time, under the same circumstances. It's about changing the cycles there for you. So then we have cleaning house. So for some of you, this may be physically, the house needs to be cleared and cleaned out. Clutter needs to be removed from the space that you're in. If you are occupying space with your significant other, spouse, partner, whatever. You're living together, or you own a place together, or you're renting space together. It doesn't matter. It's about clearing out that space at this time. And this is a good time to do it because in March, you're entering into spring. You're entering into a new phase. And doing something of a physical nature can also spawn or release things of an emotional nature too. So if you're harboring or holding on to objects from the past that may have memories attached to it that need to be released or let go of, you think about that. And then also just clearing and cleaning your space. Now, the other thing is when we're talking about cleaning house is you also have to think about what mental clutter is there, what mental clutter exists here as well, because sometimes these little goblins are the things that are playing out in your head that need to be cleaned up and cleared out too. All right, so and then the other thing we have here is unexpected visitors. Unexpected visitors to me, when we're talking about relationships, could mean anything from people coming in on the outside into your relationship, people who may have opinions about what's going on. Sharing information about your relationship with other people opens the doorway for things to come in that you might not want to come in. Questions and other people's stuff. And one thing is for sure, there are no two people alike. So there are no two relationships that are alike. And though you and your friend or your mother or your cousin or whoever may have had a similar experience, it doesn't mean that that experience needs to be resolved or solved in the way that they did it, okay? So when you're seeking advice, you have to bear in mind the person who's delivering the information. If you didn't seek the advice and somebody's offering advice, you definitely want to pay attention to that, and you might want to throw that in the back. Because if you didn't ask for the opinion, then that means somebody's just sharing something that's on their mind. And people are doing a lot of projecting, okay? They're being very good at that, where they can, whatever it is that's going on in their life, they try to put it on you. So you don't want to leave the door open for that, okay? You don't want to have any unexpected visitors, Scorpio, in your relationship. And I'm not saying don't seek advice when you need it. Seek the advice when you need it, but let the advice be impartial. When you start going to your friends and your family and all of that kind of stuff, you may not be getting an impartial. You might not be getting impartial advice. All right, I am moving into the next phase, which is the tarot portion of this video. This is where we get into the details of our lives, and we want to look and see what's going on and seeing what's the nitty gritty is what I like to call it. So we've got Two of Swords in reverse, which means to me that, Scorpio, there are some decisions that need to be made that you're not making. So it might be one of those things where you're just going to let things happen and see how it pans out, but you got to ask yourself if that's the way you want to live your life. This King of Swords to me says you might want to be a little more decisive in your approach to what's happening around you. You might want to be a little more decisive because you can let life happen to you, but why? You know what I mean? Why if you know what you want? Usually, if you're letting other people make all the decisions for you and you're letting life, just happen to you, it's because you don't have an opinion at all. You don't have an opinion, or you don't have a preference. And if you don't have an opinion or a preference, then it's fine. But if you do have an opinion and a preference, you need to voice that, you need to speak that, and you need to adhere to that, which is about communication and setting boundaries. Communication is you saying what it is that you want. Setting boundaries is when you're not getting what you want, you hold somebody's feet to the fire about it, okay? And you don't feel any way about it. And that means you're not feeling guilty, or you're not feeling guilty about what you want, or you're not judging what you want. You're just clear that that's what you want. It makes a big difference. And when you are clear about what you want and you say it like you mean it, then a lot of times people just fall in line. You don't have to beg them or plead with them. You know what? If you leave that water on that dresser one more time, I'm telling you, I can't do it anymore with you, and I do mean it. And they may say, well, that just seems like so harsh. But if it's something you can't deal with, it isn't. I'm being facetious about the water. But what I'm saying, if it's a deal breaker for you, then let them know what the deal breaker is, and then no more stepping over the boundary where the deal breaker is. You broke the deal. So it's nothing else. You can't keep coming back, creeping back, coming back in on the side, around the back, in the corners. See, that's where you start getting confusion in your relationship. That goes back to that's an unexpected visitor too. Not just people being up in your business, but also you let other things creep in. And you're letting it creep in because you're not keeping it out. You're not saying, hey, this is where the line is drawn here, and that's what needs to happen. I need for you to, focus if we're going to remain in a healthy relationship with one another. And by the way, is there something you need for me to do for you? That's the reciprocity I'm talking about. It's give and take. It's give and take. It's give and take. And you got to do it fluidly, and you have to be willing to do it. Okay, Scorpio and friends, you have to be willing to do it. Everybody has told you by now that relationships take work. Everybody. Even Michelle Obama said it was hard for her, that she has to work at her relationship, and we all idolize them and how they get along and how much they look like they love each other. But she herself said that. So what make you think you're not going to have to work at yours? You do have to work at it. All right, 5 of Cups, but it doesn't have to be hard. You just have to be willing to do it. That's it. So we got the 5 of Cups in reverse. In the upright, it shows somebody who's like, thinking about things that went wrong in the past. I do feel like you've gotten past that, and I'm glad that you have, because I don't want you to keep ruminating around in the past, okay? So it's good if that's there and you're getting past it. Keep on getting past it. Stay focused on that. The information that you receive from this time right here is good information. This is a part of your focus. It's also a part of how you're going to be making decisions. You're making decisions on that. And, some people will say, well, you want to heal your past. You want to heal your past because you don't want to go into the next relationship and then end up attracting the same problems and things like that. They are 100% correct about that, and they're right about that. The thing is that you have to, hold on one moment. You have to, it's not like you're going to forget. It's not like you're going to forget what happened. It's not like you're carrying that pain into the next relationship, but you are making note of what worked and what didn't work. Okay? If that makes sense, it's a step back from the emotional part of it. And it's just saying, you know what, this is what worked and this is what just doesn't work for me. And for some of you who have been through a few relationships, you can say, nope, it doesn't work because it didn't work with this one. It didn't work for this one. It doesn't work for this one. And you'll start to see that some of the same issues that you may have with your sexual partner or with your spouse or with your romantic partner, you're also having similar things with your parents, with your kids, with other people that you work with. Because again, it's you. You are relating to your spouse. It's you who are relating to your child. It's you who is relating to your boss. It's you who's relating to your mother, your father, your sister, brother. It's you. And so when you bring you, all of you, okay, unapologetic you, to the table, and you say, now, this is how a relationship with me is going to work. And this is how it won't work. You want to make it not work? Do this right here, or this, or this. Okay? I can tell you, you're already headed for self-destruction if you're doing any of these items that I just named off right here. Now, when the person, or if the person should do one of those three things, then you're the person who has to come back and say, now, you know what? When we first started this thing, I let you know that I don't like this right here. And so you come back and you give me that. You know, I don't like when you make snide remarks to me. I don't like snide remarks, okay? So that I consider to be a snide remark. Like I told you, that's one of my top threes. So don't do that anymore. Or else we're going to have to make an adjustment in the nature of this relationship. Now, let the person come back to you and do this again. This is where consistency and boundaries comes in. I don't care if it's 2 days from now, 5 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now. If they do that thing again, you have to then bring them back and say, guess what? Remember when I told you when I first met you, I don't do these 3 things? And one of these 3 things is being disrespectful or, making snide remarks to me. Then you remember on that day about 2 years ago when you made that snide remark to me and I told you that if you did that again, we were going to have an issue. We're going to have to make an adjustment into the nature of our relationship. Well, this is the moment that we're making that adjustment. Okay. So I am no longer going to boom, 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 and boom, because you've done this now the second or possibly the third time. And then you get to decide how many times they get to do it before you cut. That's the boundary part. This message is not just for Scorpio. This is for a lot of people. I might have to put on the Facebook page. Everybody needs to go look at Scorpio. Because this is for real though. This is the reason why some of your kids are unruly. This is why sometimes you having all these unnecessary fights with your person. That's why some of you all can't have good communication with your work partners. Some of this stuff is all tied up into that. All right, what else do we have here? All right, so this is the Hangman in reverse. Hangman in reverse. Hangman in the upright is about letting go. Hangman in reverse means that there is something that needs to be let go of, okay? This goes back to this right here, okay? Because with the King of Swords being here and with the Five of Cups being in reverse, which tells me you've done some work, you are in a good position, Scorpio, as far as you got your thinking cap on. You've gotten past some other things, but for whatever reasons, you're still not making these decisions for yourself. And my guess is that whatever it is you need to let go of has to do with fear. And it could be fear of being alone. It could be fear of hurting somebody's feelings. It could be a fear of, probably either being alone or hurting somebody's feelings, one or the other, or hurting somebody's feelings and then they leave you and then you're alone. It's probably one of those 2 things. It could be something else. But my guess is that this Hangman is about not letting go of a fear of some sort. Because there's nothing standing in between you and making a decision here. Nothing. This right here, the work has been done. You're feeling more resolved. You're feeling stronger. You're feeling like you're not getting caught up in your emotions. You've moved past a precipice with that. And so now you've gone past the precipice. It's no reason for you to just let life pass you by. It's not pass you by, but it's no need to just let people just do whatever. Or for you not to lay the rules of engagement down, because that's what this is. This is rules of engagement to me. So let go of the fear. Don't worry about how it's going to turn out, because it's going to turn out better, because the relationships you have been having have not been going that great. So anything that you're going to do that represents a true change in the dynamic of your relationship has got to usher in some differences and some changes for you. All right, so these other 2 cards that came out, I've got a King of Wands in reverse. I don't know why I don't get my glasses. King of Wands in reverse, and a Prince of Pentacles in reverse. So I'm seeing a couple of people here. This is two different people. And these could be people who are coming in your direction. It could be somebody, King of Wands are usually male people, very charismatic. They're very showy. They come with a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be easily turned on by them, feel passionate about them, etc., etc. But they're in reverse, which means to me that either the connection is not right what it needs to be, or it could be that this person is not operating with the best of intentions with that King of Wands energy. In other words, they know their power, but how are they exercising it? This could also be somebody who has the potential to do some, has the potential to impress you, right? But they may not be in a good place themselves, okay? Whatever it is, the energy is in the reverse. So if the energy is in the reverse, to me, that means you're not really coming with all of your faculties. Or it could also mean that you're not, that you got something else going on. It could be any of those kinds of things. Then we got the Prince of Pentacles also in reverse. This is somebody who could be younger than you, or could be somebody who's not as solid as this person. Like this person could really fool you because they are the king of wands. They know, they've learned some things, you know what I mean? But they may not, they may not have it all together like the way you think they do. But the Prince of Pentacles here in reverse is going to be focused only on the physical, and they're not going to be focused on your heart. They're not going to be focused on your mind, nothing. They're just coming with what they're coming with, okay? This is also somebody probably is not that stable as far as their finances are concerned. So they might be looking for a sugar mama, sugar daddy, or somebody like that. But these two individuals that are coming toward you, they both are not operating in the upright. So you might as well bypass them, okay? And I feel like that's just like a little warning. Because sometimes when you start healing yourself, then people start coming in just, I'm going to say as a test, but I don't really want to call it a test. It's just, people show up, and then you have to be discerning. You have to be discerning about who's coming. You're the one that has to make a decision based on everything that you've learned so far in the relationship, okay? And you also letting go of the fear. See, because when you let go of that fear of being alone and all that other kind of stuff, then telling these people no, and not only no, but hell no, is going to be very simple for you. You'll be like, you know what? No. Because that's one of my top 3. You got to come correct. One of my top 3. If you ain't coming correct, you're not coming in your full self, then you already are in the back of the line. Get in the back of the line, because there is a line somewhere. And I'm drawing it, and you're not coming across it. That's some King of Swords stuff. That's King of Swords energy. I have a line. This is what I do. You don't like it? Get to stepping. That's King of Swords. King of Swords makes decisions. And don't mind making them. Because the decisions that you should be making, Scorpio, should be putting your mind at ease at all times. Every decision that you make in relationship to somebody else should be a decision that allows your mind to be at peace at all times. So whatever I'm going to do with you, the end result is going to be peace of mind for me. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you're not able to get along with that, if that isn't going to make you happy, if that is going to be a problem for you, then perhaps we're not equally yoked. 10 of Cups in reverse, Hermit also in reverse. So for me, what this means is, it's not about the idea that you have about relationships. I think what it is you feel like you're going to be alone, right? I think you feel like, oh, it's never going to happen and I'm always going to be by myself. And I don't know if there's going to be a possibility for for me to have a satisfying relationship. Yes, there is, Scorpio. There is. And it's this. It's this. It's this and this and this. So really, that's all you have to do. If you think about it, it's very simple. Let go of the fear, whatever that fear is about you making a sharp decision about what you want in any relationship. Let go of that fear. And when you let go of that fear, then making a decision about what you want is going to be very simple for you. And you are going to decide to have this type of relationship. See that word? Satiety? That means satisfaction. So I am going to have a satisfying relationship. And guess what? I know what that looks like. I know how that feels. I get it. And then I'm going to, ask for that, look for that, and not tolerate anything other than that. That's it. Spirits, do you all have anything else to say to Scorpio? Month of March. Is there anything else that needs to be said to my Scorpio friends in March? No, I don't think so. Nope, that's it. All right, so if you would like to go through the relationship map, you can go to the website, wooingnature.life, go to services, and you'll see the information at the bottom. If you have any questions or you want to take a deeper dive or if you want to get a relationship reading, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. I will be on that line and I will respond to you there. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whichever one suits you and whatever you like. They all have a little bit different information, so you may decide you want to do one, not the other. That's fine. But if you want your daily dose of Wooing Nature, you can go to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and we'll be there as well. As always, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful March, and I hope you're having a fabulous life.